Thank you, Mark. I agree with Mark wholeheartedly. Some people just want to see the world burn. So one of the interesting things that Lorna said is that the world, in a way, is defined by how we look at it. And what I'm going to do today in my brief presentation, I'm going to talk about the world of business unusual. So why did I entitle it Business Unusual? It's not about a revolution in technology anymore. It's about a revolution in business models. It's how we will use technology to change the world around us. In essence, a war is coming. And I'm not the only one saying it. As Daniel said, he reads The Economist, so do I. And 3 weeks ago, The Economist had that as a front page cover. How will today's technology change tomorrow's jobs? Now, breaking out of an old paradigm is very important, but taking our lessons from history, it's quite interesting to note that 120 odd years ago, there were about 600 people that came up with patents to put an engine inside a mechanical horse. Fortunately, it didn't go that well for them. But if you think that 600 individuals that can't escape a paradigm is not a very good sample, take a look at what happened in the textile industry. Textile industry worked around a centralized source of energy called the steam spindle. And all of the workstations were centered around the centralized source of energy. The interesting thing is electricity came around, and what did people do? They simply wired up all their workstations with electricity. And it took them 20 years. I kid you not, it took the entire industry 2 decades to realize that they can change the layout of their plant so that material can flow through it more effectively. And you think to yourself, couldn't they have done an MBA at Potch or somewhere so that they could actually figure out how this works? The funny thing is, we might laugh at it right now, but we're in exactly the same movie. We have these devices in our pockets, and it allows us to connect to everything and everyone at the touch of a button. Yet our business models are still in the 20th century. We already have the 21st century technology in our hands. Some people call it a smartphone. I call it a supercomputer. Why? Because it's 10,000 times more processing power than they used to put 2 men on the moon in 1970. I bumped into another gentleman the other day, and I said, so how do you like your smartphone? He says, I hate the bloody thing. It took me 20 minutes to realize how to make a telephone call. The funny thing is, this has got so much processing power, and it's such a wonderful tool that talking on it is now the 5th most time-consuming thing we do on it. We connect to other people, we tweet, we send email, we use the internet, we play games. But this device and the way in which we're interconnected, it's changing the world. The fact of the matter is that the internet and the real world have already merged into one. Why? We don't know it, we can't see it. But we use these devices to connect to this invisible reality just beyond my senses. And it will change the world. So what will it look like? Well, if we take a look at how we can leverage our innovation to change the world, this is a very good example. You see, when information is everywhere, in the past, we had a construct where individuals and products were all married to the information. But now, the information is abstracted and available everywhere. And that means that all of the actions in your value chain can now be ripped apart, rebundled, and reformed to create more value. I know that sounds like academic speak, but let me explain. This is a company in Israel called Shahal Medical Services. And they focus on people with heart problems. Now, what do you do in South Africa when you get a heart attack? Come on, you should know this. They should teach this at a high school. You call the pizza delivery company. You say, guys, just bring me one pizza, here's the address. Then you call the ambulance and you say, follow the pizza guy. And if they don't pitch in half an hour, you get the pizza free. It's called a win-win. The fact of the matter is the ambulance will arrive, it'll pick you up, you'll try to recuperate you, take you to hospital, you'll pay 5 times more than a 5-star hotel, and they'll send you ugly nurses and pretty nurses, you pay the same rate. They'll send you good surgeons and bad surgeons, you'll pay the same rate. The funny thing is, their business model is based on the context that after you get the heart attack, they hope that you'll recover. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. The fact is you still foot the bill. What this company does is slightly different. They give you a bracelet to wear, and that monitors your heart rate and transmits it to their control center. Now, they determine what type of heart ailment you have. And when there's a deviation in your heart rate, they pick it up on their system, and they compare it and say, oh, this is not looking good. In 70% of the cases, people with similar ailments had a heart attack in an hour. They then dispatch an ambulance, not from where they are, but from close to where you are. The guy comes and knocks on your door and says, hi there, sir, please come with us. We think you're getting a heart attack in half an hour. And you think, hey, I'm watching the All Black Springbok game. Some things are more important than life and death. And that's why they've got those portable TVs you have to take with you. The fact of the matter is that they stop you getting the heart attack. They change everything. They change the time when you get the heart attack, the location where you get the heart attack, the actors who's around you, your dog Fluffy or a team of experts, or the constellation. The fact of the matter is, it changes everything. And their business model is a monthly fee to keep you alive. Which one do you think will survive? And this isn't the only one. What we are seeing is that worldwide, we are seeing an attack on established business models. We are seeing business models where human mashups are created. 10 of my friends use Airbnb. Who's heard of Airbnb, by the way? Well, after this session, far more. My 10 friends have all gone to the UK, the United States, and the Far East using Airbnb, and they pay 20% of the normal rate that you'd pay in a hotel. What we are seeing is that transparency creates quality because everyone votes for the service providers as well as the people staying there. We even have mashups on our phone. If you use Google Maps, your location and your speed is connected to a centralized server, and this allows us to take a look at traffic patterns where everyone contributes to the greater good. One of the trends. The second trend we're looking at is a very important one. In what way will the real world and the virtual world merge into one? In South Korea, there's a company called Tesco. People don't have time to do shopping. I really pity them, or maybe they're lucky. The funny thing is, they took the supermarket to the subway stations. Now, as you're waiting for your train, you take out your phone, you take a picture of the product you like, and as you arrive home, your shopping is delivered. It's so successful, they even opened up branches with no products in them. So you go home and your wife says, honey, where were you? Oh, I went shopping, honey. Where's the shopping? No, I went to the store and there's no products in it. Like that one. What does it mean for us? Heck, all of us have to go and draw money to pay these funny little parking stubs. Why can't we take our phone, scan a barcode, and simply pay for it out of one of our loyalty schemes? Or as we sit down and watch cricket, we take a picture of the QR code below us and order the things which is delivered, and we don't have to miss a wicket. The real world and the virtual world will merge into one. What we'll also see happening is social lending. Right now in New York, there's a couple of $1 billion funding new startups looking at social lending. You see, in a Stockfell, we have trust of people paying things back, but they can't get external sources of revenue. And now we have individuals that do social lending, giving money to people, and they know that the return on investment is quite high, far more than their local banks. And we're also seeing a new way of looking at the world around us. White-collar guys like me or pink-colored guys, freelancer, will change that. The fact of the matter is, it's no longer sufficient just predicting the future. It's very important to create it. I'm Pieter Geldenhuys, and I'm a creative futurist. Thank you.